ready. Welcome back. But really, welcome back though, because I have not recorded a YouTube in 5 weeks, but I need to tell you why. So the most important part of the episode is why I'm posting this right now, because I actually went to, sorry about my dog just doing his thing. I went to a recording studio last week to record some episodes professionally, like with all the lights, the cameras, like all of the good shit. And I needed to record this episode before I post any of those, because I need to tell you what's been going on. I need to tell you what has been happening in my world. I will never, I want to claim this right now in this moment. I will never go 5 weeks without recording a podcast ever again, ever. But it wasn't my fault. I didn't choose it. I have literally been in a place in my life where everything that doesn't feel in alignment, doesn't feel in truth, doesn't feel is meant to be with this new version of me, is just been taken off my path. Like all of it. And I'm trusting that that was why I had to have a break from recording, because now, and I really, really hope that you can feel my energy through the phone, I feel brand new. I feel like a different version of myself. Now I'm ready for the podcast. Back then, I wasn't ready, and I had to go through everything that I've been going through recently in order to step into this vibration, in order to be this version of me who I am just so excited to be back. I really, really am. It's like 25 degrees here in the UK where I'm from. I've been out, I've been in the garden, that's why I've got my maxi dress on, and I was just like, I want to record. I've got a message, I want to get on, I want to get back into things, and I'm ready, and it feels good and it feels aligned. I tried to record a podcast episode about 2 weeks ago. Twice. This episode I tried to record twice. The first time the mic wasn't proper, so it was half in, half out, so the audio was like, I couldn't save it, you couldn't understand what we're saying. I was like, okay, it wasn't meant to be, trusting that. So then later on I had some free time, and I was like, do you know what, I'm going to go back up and I'm going to redo the podcast episode, because I need to be posting, I need to get something out there on my YouTube. So I came back up, I recorded the whole thing. This is like a 45-minute episode. Same thing happened again. So then I started blaming the mic, the cheap ass mic off Amazon. I was like, oh my god, it's because this shit mic, what's happening? And then I just done a test thing of recording myself, not intentionally to post it or anything, just recording it, and it was perfect. The sound was perfect. And then I sat with myself and I was just like, that episode wasn't meant to be. I'm not ready to come back yet. So I'm trusting in this feeling, I'm trusting in this feeling inside of me that now is the time to start showing up, and I am going to be back consistent with these episodes. When I feel into a message that I want to share, I am just going to get my phone out, I'm going to get my mic out, I'm going to come into my podcast studio, and I'm just going to hit record. And I love that energy. That makes me feel good inside. So anyway, I've named this episode, well, I haven't named it yet, but I'm going to name it. What am I naming it? Something to do with authenticity. Because this is where I'm at, right? How showing up authentically you is the best thing that you can do for who you are, for your family, for your friends, for your business, for your people who need to see you. And whilst you're in the vibration of pretending, of being like a chameleon, being what everybody else wants you to be, you are blocking your people from finding you. You are blocking your soulmate. You are blocking that best friend. You are blocking the relationship that you can be having with your family members to the depth of it. You are literally blocking yourself from everything that's aligned for your soul, because you're too busy trying to be like them, trying to go in that direction, trying to go on that path, trying to be what everybody else wants you to be. And that's a journey that's really took me a long time to figure out and to come to terms with and to have the realisation of. And for me, a massive part of it has been learning how to trust myself, learning how to connect to my intuition, learning how to listen to that inner whisper, learning to be there for myself, to build that connection with me. A big way to do that is your level of self-discipline. Being somebody of your word, sticking to your promises that you make yourself. And I'm not talking about like doing big launches and making loads of money and these massive things. I'm not talking about all of that. I'm talking about the small day-to-day shit, the mundane shit that we take for granted and we don't think matters. Oh, I've said that I'm going to do a healthy food drop this week and I'm going to meal plan and I'm going to eat more intuitively and I'm going to, stop snacking at night time and, all of the things. And then when it comes to the food shop, you're like, oh, fuck it. I'll start next week instead. And then you go back to your old ways, your old habits, your old identity, and then you feel like shit. And then you make excuses as to why you feel like shit. Or it's like you book on that gym class and then when it comes to the morning of the gym class, you're like, can't be bothered. But the night before, you were so hyped up. You were so excited. You couldn't wait to book on the gym class. Even like think about the outfit that you're wearing. You set your alarm early and then the next morning you lose it. You lose that connection. You lose that drive. You lose that momentum. You lose that motivation. So you snooze the alarm and you skip the gym class and then you eat shit. And then you feel like shit. And then you're in low vibration. And what did it all start with? You breaking a promise. You not doing what you said you was going to do. So that is my number one tip for being able to trust yourself. And if you want to start showing up more authentic, more you, more the real you, then that comes with you trusting you, you knowing you. How can you be you in this world if you don't even know who you are? What do you like? What do you dislike? What brings you high vibration? What puts you in a high frequency? What drains your energy? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? What lights you up? What excites you? What brings you joy? What brings you happiness? Who are the people that come to your mind right now in this moment that you love being around? And when you're around these people, life feels amazing. It's so uplifting. Can you answer any of these questions? Being able to show up authentically you, the real you, is a gift. It's a gift to this world. It's a gift to anybody who gets to experience you. And for as long as you hide that version of you, you're robbing this world of that gift. You're robbing the people that you love and care about of that gift. And then I want to talk about what happens. Right, I want to talk about what happens when we do have the courage, because this shit takes courage. Like, this isn't easy. If it was easy, then wouldn't everyone just show up as the real them? It's not easy. It takes courage. It takes courage to be like, do you know what? I'm just going to be me. I'm just going to let everybody see the real me. I'm not going to sugarcoat things. I'm not going to hold back my opinions. I'm not going to people please. I'm not going to try and be liked. I'm not going to seek validation. Like, do you know how much courage it takes to not care about being disliked? To have an opinion and share it, knowing that other people aren't necessarily gonna agree. They're not gonna see your point of view. They're not gonna get it. But you're like, well, how I feel, this is how I think, I'm gonna share it, this is my views on it, so I'm just gonna share it. A lot of us don't do that, because before we do share it, we think about, oh no, I better not say that, because it might upset them, and it might upset her, and she thinks differently to me, so I'll just nod and agree. And then in that second, you straight away go back to being that people pleaser. The yes man. The one who just fits into the room. You just blend in. And something to think about, the more that we do that, And the more that we do hide our voice and we hide our truth and we don't speak our opinion, we don't speak up for ourselves, we disconnect from us, because it's like, well, you won't even speak up and speak your truth, so how can I trust you? We can't trust ourselves because we're too busy being what everybody else wants us to be. So then when it comes to trusting who we really are, it's like, well, who's that? I don't know who that is, because we change every time we're around different people. I think this has had the biggest impact on my journey, and it's why I wanted to do this episode before I post any of the other ones that are already recorded, is because I've not been in my truth with content that I'm putting out there, especially on my YouTube. And it's something that I've only noticed in the last few weeks, because if you know me, you know I am very open. I'm an open book. There's nothing that you can say to me about me that I don't own, that I don't already put out there. Like, I broadcast my shit. My story is why I am the way that I am, where I am in life, because I am so vulnerable and I'm not shy of getting on camera and crying and saying I'm struggling and all of this. But one thing I've noticed that I am doing when it comes to speaking my truth and being fully embodied in authenticity when I'm sharing a message, subconsciously in my mind, I think about the people that I know watch my stuff, who follow me on Instagram and who watches my YouTube channel. I know that some things that I say will offend those people and they won't be happy and they won't necessarily agree with what I say. I know that my message is very triggering. So if you work with me one-to-one, or if you're in any of my mentoring programs, if you're in my coaching experiences, anything, I am not the yes coach. I'm not the people pleaser. Like, I will give it to you straight. I'm very triggering. The work that I do is triggering, and that's because I am now this version of me who I needed back then, like 4 or 5 years ago, when I was on my ass broke, when I was in victim consciousness, when I felt sorry for myself, when I had nothing going for myself, when I literally had nowhere to live with my little boy. I didn't need to be around yes people. I didn't need to be around people who was like, oh, poor Catherine, like, it's so sad, like, her life is so hard, that's why it is the way that it is, give her a break. I didn't need the world to feel sorry for me. I needed somebody to tell me straight. I needed somebody to look me in the eyes and say, what the fuck are you doing with your life? Sort your shit out. But instead, I stayed in victim mentality, waiting for someone to come along, waiting for somebody to save me. And guess what? Nobody came. Because that is bullshit, and you're bullshitting yourself. And the longer that we stay in that story, we just stay there. And before we know it, we're 80, 90 years of age and our life has completely passed us by, all because we sat around waiting for something outside of ourselves to come along and change us and help us and get us out of that situation. You're the only one who can do it. So it's like that saying of tough love that they call it. Like, I am that. I am tough love. I am triggering, but from a place of love, and I always bring it back to, what would I say to me? What would I say to the old me? What advice would I give? How would I speak? And I don't hold back. And that is how I need to start being on my YouTube channel, on my podcast series. I need to start no filtered, just being like, this is my message, this is what I've got to say. And that's going to be difficult for me, because I know a lot that I've got to say, it's going to hurt people's feelings, and I'm just feeling into family members right now in this moment. And then that's not being authentically me. I'm not being in my truth. So then how can I preach that? How can I teach that? How can I tell other people to be that if I'm not being that? Okay, so I want to tell you a quick story. Well, I'll try and make it quick, but it might go on a little bit. But I want to tell you something that I went through last year that changed so much for me, and that I've carried with me. I've not let it go, and I always bring it back to all the time. And I hope that it can give you an insight to where you are. So I was booked last summer, probably like this. Oh no, we're not even in summer, are we? It was like July last year. I was booked for a retreat, a woman's retreat in the Lake District. And basically I had a 2-hour slot, or was it 3-hour? I can't remember. I can't remember the details now. But basically this person I looked up to massively. Like, I really looked up to her because, and I still do, like, she's amazing at what she does. But for her to reach out and be like, I love what you do, I love everything that you post, I would love to have you a part of my retreat. That was a big deal for me. It was a big moment for me. And the transaction was pretty straightforward. There was no and ahhing. I fully was in the frequency of, I have manifested her in my DMs, like 100%, because I watch all of her stuff. And at the time, things had just started. People started recognising me and reaching out to me, and I was doing like different collabs, and this woman reached out to me. I said yes, and I said I could do the date. We settled on the price, money in the bank account, everything was booked. That was that, literally. About 2 weeks, I'm going to say it was about 2 weeks, or was it a week? I don't know, but not long before it was due for the retreat, I got a voice note on WhatsApp off her. And basically, it was just along the lines of, I'm just reaching out in regards to, so she asked me, what's the plan basically for the retreat. Now I put myself out there as an intuitive coach. I'm an intuitive, everything's intuitive. Me motivational speaking events, me coaching, me group programs, like everything that I do, I don't actually have a plan, and that's what works for me. I work intuitively. I will connect from your energy and then I will show up. That's how I do it. It's kind of like a feeling of getting out of my own way. And my live events taught me that, because when I first started doing live events, like my big ones where there's like over 100 people there, I used to walk out on stage and have it all figured out what I was going to say, my very first one. And then I quickly realised this doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel aligned, because everything that I planned to do at that live event was a planning stage in my mind. Whereas when I got in the room, there was so many different energies there. So that plan then was completely changed because of their energies, and then I had to work with what they needed from me. So I learned that quite early on when I very first started putting my work out there and putting myself out there, even doing these podcasts, I don't always know what I'm going to speak about. I just let it flow. And that's how I work. That's how I am as a person in real life. So she asked me what my intentions was, and I had a brief, so I'll know like if I'm doing inner child work, self-forgiveness work. I always do breath work because I love it, blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, and then I'll just feel into what I want to come in and where we want to take it. And she was like, amazing. Like literally, this was her reply. She was like, everything you're saying is like speaking to me soul. I love people who work like that. And I was like, amazing. Like, I'm so excited. And then about an hour later, I get another voice note off her. And she was just like, oh, and I forgot to mention, I was watching your videos and I love what you do and blah, blah, blah. And she was like, and then I seen a video of your live event, and you stood on the stage with a microphone and you're crying, like you're very clearly emotional on the video. So I'm just letting you know beforehand, before you do our event, that that wouldn't be okay for you to get emotional in front of women who have paid a lot of money to come to this retreat. Like, that doesn't sit well with me. And then she just went on to say how, like, you're the space holder, these women are looking up to you, you're going to be stood in front of them to guide them. I don't want them to see you upset and that spill into them. So the way that I work is, this is what she was saying, the way that I work is, I don't let my emotions come through, because I know that I'm the space holder. So if I need to cry or I get upset, I'll do it, afterwards and blah, blah, blah. In that moment, so much changed for me. And I believe that I manifested that message. I needed that message. My soul needed that reminder. And I believe that in that moment, I was being questioned. Who are you now? Who are you right now as you've listened to that voice note? As you stand on that stage in front of all the women that you help, hundreds and hundreds of women, as you do what you do, where women literally say to me, like, you have changed my life, not because of like what you do and stuff, but the fact that you're just me. Like, nobody puts me on a pedestal because I take myself off it like that, because I'm no different to you. I've been through my shit too, and I'm very open about that. And that's what makes these women who come to me, who align, who come into my energetic field, feel so safe with me, because they're like, she's no different, she's no better, she's nothing special, she's just us, but she's done the healing work, and now she's just guiding us with shit that she knows and shit that she's been through. And that's what I love, and that's why I believe that I have the impact that I have. That's why I believe like everything I do sells out and these women get so much from it. And it's because I'm very truthful, very open, and I don't wear a mask, and I don't hold back, and I don't try to be anything that I'm not. So I do break down. I do cry. When I walk out on that stage and I feel the emotion of those women, I just let myself be in it with you. I get on your level. I allow you to see me in my full truth, my fullest expression of who I am. I don't give a fuck that I'm the space holder. What's that mean? Doesn't mean anything. These titles and these certificates and this and that, it doesn't mean nothing to me. I am you. So don't put me on a pedestal. And if I want to cry, I'll cry. And if I want to get emotional, I will get emotional, because I won't put my mask back on for anyone, because it took me such a long time to take that mask off, and it took so much hard work. And I don't care how much you're paying me, and I don't care how many likes you get on Instagram or you're following, or even if I look up to you as a person, I don't care. Don't tell me who to be. Don't tell me what I can do when I'm holding the space for these women. Don't tell me to put my mask on, because respectfully, I will not for no amount of money. And in that moment, that's what was being questioned of me. In that moment, I was being asked that. Will you put your mask on? Will you go back to being the old you? Will you continue to do this work even though it means changing who you are within, whilst you're stood there in front of all of those women? And instantly I knew right there and then. I didn't have to think about it. This isn't aligned. This isn't me. So my reply was, it doesn't feel in alignment with who I am. I can and I won't control whether I get emotional. So I refunded her the money back, every penny. And I didn't do the retreat. And I've never worked with her. And from that day, I have never, ever, and I will never take a job or say yes to anything or do a collaboration or anything that feels out of alignment with who I am, because I worked too hard to get here. And I just want you to feel into that, whoever you are. What people do you surround yourself with who make you feel like you can't be you? Who make you feel like you're too much? Or maybe they make you feel like you're not enough? Who are you around where you feel like you have to quiet your voice? You have to watch what you're saying. You have to wear a mask. You have to act a certain way. Where you're not in your truth. And then bring it back to, is it worth it? Because I see it as literally selling your soul. Like, that money exchange for me to be what you want me to be is me giving up my soul. And I don't believe that that's what I'm here for. I don't believe that is why I went through everything that I've been through in my life, to just hand it over so easily, to just go back to old ways, to old identities, to old me. No. And that was just a really, really beautiful reminder that I am able to return back to over and over and over again. When anything comes into my energetic field, when people reach out to me, when people want to do collabs, like whatever the situation, I'll bring it back to, is this aligned? Does this feel good in the heart space? Does this bring me joy? Does my inner child want to do this? That's a big one. I check in with my inner child every single day, especially when doing this work, because she doesn't like, hello, my little dog, can you even see him on the camera? She doesn't like everything being so serious. She loves the play, the joy, the fun, the laughter, the not knowing. Like, I strive off that feeling of walking in a room, walking on stage, walking in wherever and being like, I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. I don't know what's going to come through. But it's because I trust myself. I trust myself so much. I trust that I've got me. And that is my divine masculine coming through for my divine feminine of being like, we're good. I've got you. You're safe. I think it's when you can get to that part of your journey that everything changes. But you've got to be courageous enough. You've got to step into that courage of being like, I want that. I want to let go. I want to just be me. I want to set myself free. Do you know how liberating it is when you're just like, I'm just me. This is who I am. No more pretending, no more roles to play, no more acting, but being like, this is who I am. With that comes a lot of letting go. And the universe will remove people from your path that don't align with that version of you. And that's why the law of detachment is such a beautiful law to live your life by. I've been like, I'm not attached. I trust that whoever's not meant to be with me on this journey, they'll be removed from my path and I'll be okay. And then when people leave your path, it's to make room for the people that are truly meant for you, your soul tribe. The people that are going to help you and elevate you in that next level, that new timeline, that new version of you. So I hope that you got something from this episode, whatever you needed. And if my story teaches you anything, let it be to feel safe out there. You've got to feel safe within. To stop feeling the judgment from everybody else out there, you've got to stop judging you. To stop fearing abandonment, rejection, not being good enough. You have got to be your biggest supporter, your biggest believer, your biggest fan. You've got to be there for you. You've got to have that connection with you. And then what happens is you don't care. You don't care who supports you, who believes in you, who is like, oh my God, you're doing amazing. Like, you genuinely don't care. It doesn't matter because I've got me. And I only really care about what I think about me because I can't control what you think about me. I don't get a say over that. But I know what I think about me, and that's all I genuinely care about. My opinion of me is what matters to me the most. And if you live a heart-led life where you're just authentically you and your truth, you speak from your heart space, you show up with integrity, with conviction, with truth, then I don't think anything can go wrong for you. I don't think that you'll ever be anywhere where you're not supposed to be, even when it feels hard and difficult and you're being tested. It's for your greater good. It's always working out for you. The universe has always got you. But have you got you? That's what you need to sit with.